So the three of you have really excellent chemistry together on screen. What do you guys do to kind of build that?
I love these dudes.
Food. It starts with food.
We did. It started with it started with getting Manny and Petty's together.
That's exactly it. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Always.
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ron.
No, you brothers, all you.
No, for me, Alain and Mykel could attest to this too. Yeah, we just clicked, man. Right off the bat, we just clicked. Same work ethic. We all wanted, we're on a mission to find the best layers of our characters that we could, and with each other. We all love the script, and I love these guys, and they're my bros. Go ahead, Alain.
No, I think that's it. I mean, we're cut from the same cloth, right? We respect the work, we respect each other, and when there's mutual respect, it kind of breeds that organic chemistry. So it just happened, man. It could have broke this way, in many instances where in the past other projects you may have been involved with, it could break that way. But for the grace of a higher power, it just went this way. And again, it's the mutual respect that we all have for each other that really bonded us.
It's really humbling that you could feel that. And we truly appreciate it because we could feel it. But we were like, maybe it's just us feeling something. But to know that somebody who wasn't there and can take a moment out and see it and feel it like it's palpable, that's just I'm just humbled by it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And so one of the main themes of the film is the importance of family and the bond that forms between family. How did this resonate with you guys?
For me personally too, that was one of the strengths that I loved about this character, because Hing really was probably, because of the baggage between Danny and Jim, Hing was really hurt by the breakup, and because he loved his brothers, and so after they left, he became depressed and probably was an emotional eater, and let himself go, and then when many years later, the fact that the hope of getting the three back together, I mean, that's all that matters to him. And so for me, I found that was the tenderness that I loved, even though, beyond the comedy and beyond, there was so much heart in this film from each of the characters. And then I think on page and off the page, meeting these guys, and it was a beautiful thing.
I agree.
Yeah. I think just to add on to that, that family can be defined beyond blood. That family can be chosen, and in some ways you could sort of rely on that more. And I think these characters are so interwoven with each other from all the stuff that they've been through, all the history that they have together, and for them to come back and start this new version or this new journey together that takes place for the movie. I think it's a testament to that bond that they all have for each other.
And I don't want to leave out the importance of a seafood or a father. I've lost my father, and now all the stories that he used to tell me, the lessons that he used to give me, they resonate so clearly. When I was like, now it's like to have the opportunity. I know what it is to have built something with a father figure like Sifu, and then lose that physical father figure. How much more those principles mean. So for Jim, like, I didn't know he passed. And when I was informed, that information, it brings you back to what was real. Like those messages, those lessons, they come back, and they come back right. They come back solid. And to have someone beside you who was raised the same way and believed the same way, and just, it was like, it was symphonic.
Yeah, that's really moving to hear. And you talked about fatherhood. That's another one of the storylines in the film, is the relationship between this father and son. How do you connect with that storyline?
I think there's there's a responsibility we all have. I mean, Mykel touched on it in terms of, the father figure that is Sifu. And then there's also that parental relationship that I have with my son, in Ed. And it's like, as a father myself, you're trying to distill a lot of the things you've learned, and you're trying to impart on that wisdom to the next generation. And I think for Danny, he was more involved in his own, so he was getting his own way in many ways, and that starts the journey for this character, is understanding like the lessons that his Sifu taught him, and his and trying to impart that with his son. I think, and all the things that are outside that kind of get in the way of that. I think that's something that we all go through, and it's a learning experience. And for me personally, it comes full circle because I deal with my dad now, and he's retired, and I'm starting to get to know him as a person, not my dad, and to see a lot of the stuff that he's been dealing with in the past, and how much weight he has been carrying all these years. And and trying to understand the humility that goes with that. I think for Danny, it's very much the same, is letting go and shedding a lot of that weight, and being able to be open to his son, and being able to say, hey, this is what it means to be a human being in this world. So a lot of those lessons are sort of displayed at the second to the third act of the movie, without being too spoilery. But yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add, for me, one of my favorite scenes is when there's a final conversation between Alain's character Danny and his son. It was so touching and heartfelt. Like, it made me think, because me and my dad didn't have that kind of relationship. So I always wanted him to come back, even through all the scripts, and have that moment. And so for me, it hit me hard. And, and then just from that point on, and even with Jim and Danny in the final fight, like, I wanted to be there so bad.
Literally, he was trying to get up off the table and be like, yo, I'm on the roof. I'm like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. We were trying to figure a way now. We were trying to figure a way to get him up there.
Support.
Yeah. And you bring up the fight sequences. I really love the fight sequences in this film. There's some great choreography. What did you guys do to prepare and execute these scenes?
Stretch a lot. The preparation really comes from the team, the action director Kenny, and the stunt coordinators, the stunt folks. It's with Sam and Carrie. They really prepped us and really helped us understand the story even further. That I think a lot of the things that you saw, perhaps the reasons why you liked it so much, because a lot of the actual fight meant something. It wasn't gratuitous in any way. Like, you could have an action sequence in action movies where it just keeps going and going and going, but in this instance, it's really specific to the characters, and I think that's why it might be resonating with you.
Yeah, and so like on the other side of the coin, there's also the comedic elements of the movie, and you guys have some excellent comedic timing. It was one of my favorite parts of your performance. What was the challenge in kind of pulling this off for you guys?
For me, there was no challenge, because that was one of the things I loved about the script, and it got me juiced up. Like, for me, Bao allowing me to improv, but also the comedy was there on the page. It just got me juiced up to throw different lines, like, and I could just go on for days. So for me, I loved it. I loved, working with these guys. I love working with Matt Page, who played a great Carter. We all it's the guy you love to hate, but then you kind of like him at the end, so, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me, and I hope people check out The Paper Tigers in theaters and on demand on May 7th.
Yeah, thank you.
You want to see a sequel
Again, too, bro.
Have a great day.
Thanks.